plays. One is Van. I think Van's kind of stepped up a little bit, but he's had 2 years of SEC play under his belt, and I expect that out of him. He's making plays right now, one-on-ones. He's getting matchups. He's running by defensive backs. He understands a little bit more, probably. He's got a little bit more experience, I'd assume. I think Freddie Swain's a guy that's kind of impressed me with his work effort and his attitude toward things. KT Kadarius, he's explosive. Trey's learning to play like a big kid. He's big and strong, and if he can learn to play and be consistent with his hands, he's definitely going to be a guy that'll be able to help us. And I think Hammond's another guy that's kind of, he's been fighting through a little bit right now, just kind of pain just like anybody else on the perimeter. But he's a guy that's kind of made some strides for me, and a guy that I think I feel comfortable about moving around at different positions right now. So those are the guys right now that kind of separate, or I should say, probably starting to separate themselves a little bit from everybody else right now.
What are your impressions of the QBs so far?
You know what? They're doing a good job, and I haven't really focused much on those guys, more or less on my guys, and so we'll watch film. We'll kind of go back through. I know they're doing a great job. I know Brian's doing a good job coaching them up, and Coach Mullins hand in hand with them as well. But from my standpoint, I'm more concerned about my guys more than anything right now, just making sure that they're learning the formations, learning the concepts, and giving great effort. I think, from our standpoint, is making sure these guys are pushing themselves to a little bit higher level than what they've done in the past, and hustling on and off the field to do the little things right. I'm not worried about the big things. I can coach up a mistake. That's not an issue. My big pet peeves and what we want to do is make sure that they're giving relentless effort, running on and off the field, giving great effort to the end of the whistle. We pulled out some plays to show them about how they kind of stopped. Somebody made a catch and kind of would take off running, and they kind of stop and turn around. The play's not over until you see it. We use a big towel in the back so everybody can see when the whistle's being thrown, and just to show examples of that. So we've got a lot more to give from that standpoint.
Have they bought into the blocking aspect of their job yet? I mean, I know it's a big deal.
It is. It's a major component for what we talked about, and they've been really good about it from our standpoint right now. But we'll find out a little bit more as we put more pads on here and get a little bit more physical. Today was good. We had a little bit of one-on-one blocks to start off practice, so we'll go back and take a look at that. I showed the guys kind of what my expectations are. I had some film from back in 06 and 08 and 07, and just kind of showed some one-on-one blocking drills with those guys. But the expectation level on my side on that perimeter is if you can't block, you can't play. So they understand that, but they're buying into it.
Is there a particular strength or weakness or weakness of the unit as a whole?
I just think there's a lack of production from last year coming back, experience level. I think the whole group that I've got coming back out of the unit is four touchdowns coming back. So we've got a lot of work to go. I kind of went through some statistics, and I think it was 08, 09 the last time I was here. The unit put up 39 touchdowns. So there's a major difference between the two, and I'm not saying that we need to have that right now, but it's about developing that type of attitude of where we need to be. And that'll get better. That'll continue to grow through spring, but it's trying to establish playmaking ability first and foremost for us to find out what guys can make plays, what guys can give us that deep threat, and what guys can kind of have that little wiggle. But from our standpoint, making a big play, it's about the person. Can he make somebody miss after he catches the ball? We got to do a great job evaluating guys and putting them in the right situation so they can do that.
What's your confidence
for you have been just about evaluating which guys can do what physically?
It is first and foremost because we've seen them during conditioning. Everybody looks good in conditioning. This is the University of Florida, so they should look good. They should be able to run. They should be able to play it. They should be able to come out of a break. But what separates players out here is being able to catch the ball. For me on the perimeter is can they catch the ball, a contested ball? I'm out here with my son over there. He shouldn't drop a ball playing catch with me right now. It's the contested catch when someone's on top of me. I don't want to hear, hey, coach, he's holding me. Good players don't get held. That's kind of what it is. Can they get off? Can they separate? And can they make the contested catch? So we're focusing on that right now. We'll kind of go through spring. They get graded every day. They get graded on every snap that they rep, whether they did their job or whether they didn't, or if they made a big play, whether they had a missed assignment. But at the end of the day, we want to have winning performances by the players. So, but they get graded every day on that.
You that grade with them, like in front of the whole group?
Yeah, we don't have any secrets. We have a grade sheet, hand it to everybody. Everybody sees each other's grades, and You know, it's kind of your worth to the program. And you know, we always talk about blocking and blocking. There's blocking sheets on it. There's parts of it. It's a whole grade sheet, but we do it every day, and everybody sees each other's grade. And like I said, it holds everybody accountable. You can't. The true measure of a leader is to. My job as a coach is to pull the weakest up to the level and the standards that I want to have. So, but we've got a lot of work to go. I mean, I think we're extremely. I think the guys are eager, but I think we're a long way away from where we need to be right now.
What's your confidence that the talent is there to close that gap from 4 touchdowns to 30+ touchdowns?
His confidence and his technique and its development. It's them having the desire to understand what after spring ball, the tools that we'll be teaching them to focus on. And in order to get better at the collegiate, they have to have a great summer. They have to understand what we're doing every day right now, and they have to go above and beyond. I know we only get a certain amount of time with them. And they've got iPads. They can flip through and find out what they're great. You know, doesn't take long as they're studying. If they're done, they're watching the TV. Hey, during a commercial in 5 minutes, boom, I can go through a day's installation just to refresh my body, to refresh my mind, mental preparation. And but that's, you know, we're like I said, they've got to do a lot of that on their own.
How do you see the tight ends fitting into the receiving core of this offense?
We're still in the development phase, period. You know, I mean, tight ends are critical for what we do in our offense. So, you know, they're developing. Coach Scott will do a great job with them by all means.
Seeing them throw it to you guys, what's your impression of the quarterbacks?
Again, like I said earlier, I think I think they've got some really good arms here. I think they've done a good job. They've got some arm talent. It's just like anything else. So, having great arm talent has to be put together with my guys on the perimeter. So I worry more about my guys taking care of their responsibility, being in the right place, trying to create space, trying to create separation, and that's what we've got to do a better job of. We've got to be able to, watching film from last year and so far right now, we've got to develop an attitude of when someone comes up and plays me man to man, we should be like Pavlov's dog, we're foaming at the mouth, ready to go and be excited about that. I don't get that sense right now, but you know, we're still early. I want to get that sense at the end of spring ball. I'd like to be able to say we walk out here and when someone presses us and playing us man to man, there's no worries. We're excited about it because we know we're going to win. But it's all development. It's all establishing that attack style attitude.
A little bit of clarification. That the videos you said you showed them of the blocking drills, was that first one-on-one drill?
Yes, it was. Yes, ma'am.
Is that the old circle of life drill?
Yes, it is. Yes, ma'am.
Did you see any wide eyes from them this morning?
They did a good job. I think we'll come back and we'll watch film right away and find out. But that's, you know, my biggest thing is I told them, I showed them kind of how we fit up. I don't want guys turning. You know, I don't want guys fighting after the drill. Do the drill. It's 4 seconds. Just how tough you are. Nobody should be able to get beat in 4 seconds. Anybody should be able to hold their own for 4 seconds, going nose up with somebody. Yes,
Why is it important to do that at the beginning of practice?
Well, I think it just, you know, that was our conditioning phase for us. But it establishes right off the get-go as far as being day one, putting the pads on, the importance of understanding that being part of a physical football team is going to be important for us to move forward.
What's the process of installing the offense, and how do you guys attack that, trying to get as much in as possible this spring?
We're putting base stuff in. We're not putting everything in. We want to put the stuff in that are our base offense that our players can understand and play fast with. Throughout the season, we'll always add stuff that we've repped over and over before as a staff and understand what we're doing. But for right now, it's just about letting the players soak in, learn the offense, and against like anything else, be able to play fast. You can't do I don't care who you are. You're not going to be a very good football player, basketball player, but if you have to think about things, you've got to go out there and it's got to be second nature. It's something that you rely on your fundamentals, and that's kind of what we've kind of been teaching the guys. So it'll be a slow process as far as what we put in, just to make sure the guys can learn, and then we'll kind of go forward from that.
From portions we've seen, it seems like you're putting a lot of emphasis on footwork and cutting and things like that, even more so than catching the football.
It is because, again, from my standpoint, I want to be able to separate. In order to be a great receiver, you've got to be able to get off the line of scrimmage versus press. If you can't get off the line of scrimmage, in this conference, you're going to see a lot of man-to-man. If you can't get off the line of scrimmage, you have no chance to play. Two is you've got to be able to separate, and I think that's where it comes in. There's a lot of technique work, being able to separate in and out of breaks and techniques at the top ends, and that's what we've got to do a great job. So we're putting a high level of emphasis on being able to separate at the top ends of our routes from the defenders.
The future might be uncertain right now, but what is the veteran getting guys like Van and Trayvon? How's that help your group?
Well, one, I think they're solid football players, but you know that's not up to me right now. So we just got to continue to work. All I care about my guys give me great effort. And I've told those guys, listen, you're going to have MAs throughout. We're going to try to correct those. My biggest thing, can you give me great effort? If you can give me great effort, you got a chance. I think Freddie does a great job. Van does a great job. A couple of the guys, they go in their motors and they understand, and that's what's going to help these guys move a little bit further than the other guys, faster.
How have you seen Van just dealing with the uncertainty of not knowing whether he's going to be eligible next year, but still approaching it like he is, I guess?
He's done a great job. Hey, listen, we've talked about, hey, just go play football, learn what you're doing, and get better, and try to perfect your craft and every day. And he's very conscientious of wanting to do the little things. It's very important to him if he has an MA, or if he dropped the ball, or if he didn't do it right. So he wants to be really, really good. So I love his attitude, absolutely love his attitude, ready to come to work every day. I shouldn't say work practice, can't say work anymore. NCAA, so.
Time for a couple final questions.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney, how do you see his versatility playing into what you guys can do?
Well, again, right now, we're basically for us is I want to see if he can catch. I want to see if he can do those different things for us. I know he's extremely athletic. I saw what he could do last year, and he's got great quickness. Again, we've seen those things before we start doing any of the little. I shouldn't say wildcat, whatever you want to do, different things, motion guys. That's all in due time for us right now. It's just to learn the base offense, learn and install. Once we get through the installments, then we can kind of tweak some things and move guys around a little bit.
You mentioned being impressed with Freddie. Have you gotten a sense for maybe what held him back the last 2 years, just from talking with him or looking at him?
I've tried not to even kind of go back on what guys have done in the past. It's not. I want to worry about what my guys are doing right now and trying to help those guys get better. And again, from our standpoint, continue to work hard. I'm excited about the group. I got to get everybody healthy. I got a couple guys that are banged up right now, but it's like anything else, just going to happen during the season. I don't think I've ever made it through a season without having somebody banged up, and the next guy's got to step up and be ready to go. But developing depth for me is critical. So we can do that, then I'll feel better at the end of spring.
You guys all good?
Yeah, appreciate it.